Have you ever wondered what you would buy if money were no longer a limit? A bigger house, a luxury car, a dream vacation. Now imagine having so much wealth that those things no longer feel extraordinary. Instead, you begin buying private islands that don't appear on tourist maps, fleets of aircraft waiting to fly at a moment's notice, floating palaces that cross entire oceans, centuries-old castles, priceless works of art, and even a ticket beyond Earth's atmosphere. But here's the surprising part. The world's richest people don't spend billions simply because they can. Behind every astonishing purchase is a deeper reason. Privacy that can't be invaded, freedom that can't be measured, status that can't be copied, or opportunities that almost no one else on Earth will ever experience. And as this countdown unfolds, you'll discover that some of these purchases are far more valuable than gold. While our number one choice isn't a mansion, a yacht, or even an island. In fact, it's something every person desperately wants, yet no billionaire can truly own. So before we reveal the countdown, we'd love to hear from you. If you had unlimited money, what would be the very first thing you'd buy? Leave your answer in the comments below. We'll be reading them all, and it will be fascinating to see how your choice compares with ours. If you enjoy premium countdowns exploring the world's rarest, most expensive, and most extraordinary things, take a second to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It really helps the channel bring you more documentaries like this. Now let's begin our countdown with a purchase that gives its owner something almost impossible to find in today's world. Complete privacy. Number 10, a private island. Imagine waking up to the sound of waves instead of traffic. There are no neighbors beyond the trees, no crowded beaches, and no city lights glowing on the horizon. The only footprints in the sand are your own. For most of us, that sounds like a fantasy, but for some of the world's wealthiest people, it's simply another morning on their private island. More than a luxury purchase, a private island is one of the few things money can truly buy that almost no one else can experience: complete privacy. While some islands are surprisingly affordable, the most spectacular can sell for hundreds of millions of dollars. Yet the purchase price is only the beginning. Owners often have to build everything from scratch, including homes, roads, power systems, fresh water supplies, internet connections, and even small harbors or airstrips. Every piece of equipment and every building material must be transported across open water, turning construction into a massive engineering challenge. So why do billionaires keep buying them? Because unlike mansions, yachts, or luxury cars, no one can create new islands. Their supply is permanently limited, making them some of the rarest real estate on Earth. Beyond the breathtaking views, a private island offers something many wealthy people value even more than luxury: total freedom, unmatched security, and the ability to disappear from the outside world whenever they choose. For those who can afford it, owning an island isn't just about wealth. It's about owning a piece of the planet that is truly theirs. Number 9, a hypercar collection. Owning a luxury car is impressive. Owning a supercar is even more exclusive. But for the world's wealthiest collectors, one extraordinary vehicle is never enough. Instead, they spend decades assembling hypercar collections worth hundreds of millions of dollars, garages filled with machines so rare that most people will never see one in person. What makes these collections so valuable isn't just speed or horsepower, it's rarity. Many hypercars are produced in extremely limited numbers, with some built as one-of-one masterpieces created for a single customer. Before a buyer is even invited to purchase certain models, manufacturers often require proof that they already own several of the brand's most iconic cars. In other words, having the money isn't always enough. These collections are carefully protected inside climate-controlled garages, maintained by teams of professional technicians, and insured for astonishing amounts. Some owners drive them only a few miles each year, while others never drive them at all, treating them more like priceless works of art than automobiles. Surprisingly, many of these cars become more valuable over time. Limited production, historical significance, and growing demand from elite collectors can push prices far beyond their original cost. A hypercar purchased for a few $1 million today may be worth several times that amount a decade later. For billionaires, a hypercar collection isn't simply about owning the fastest cars in the world. It's about possessing engineering masterpieces that combine cutting-edge technology, breathtaking design, and extraordinary exclusivity. Each vehicle tells a story of innovation, craftsmanship, and ambition, making the entire collection a symbol of status, passion, and investment all at once. Number 8. A professional sports team. For most fans, supporting a sports team means buying a ticket, wearing the jersey, and cheering from the stands. But for a select group of billionaires, there's an entirely different level of involvement. They don't just watch the game, they own the team. Purchasing a professional sports franchise is one of the most exclusive investments money can buy, with prices that often reach several $billions. At first glance, it may seem like an extravagant purchase, but these teams are far more than sports clubs. They are global entertainment brands with massive revenue streams from television rights, sponsorships, merchandise, ticket sales, and digital media. A successful franchise can generate hundreds of millions of dollars every year while steadily increasing in value. However, ownership comes with responsibilities that extend far beyond the scoreboard. Billionaire owners invest heavily in world-class players, state-of-the-art stadiums, training facilities, and community programs, knowing that every decision can affect both the team's reputation and its financial future. Perhaps the most remarkable part is how rarely these franchises become available. There are only a limited number of teams in the world's biggest leagues, and many remain in the same families or ownership groups for generations. When one finally goes up for sale, competition among wealthy buyers can be intense. For the ultra-rich, owning a professional sports team isn't simply about making money. It's about becoming part of history, shaping a city's identity, and leaving a legacy that millions of passionate fans will remember for generations. Number 7. A super yacht. For most people, a yacht is the ultimate symbol of luxury. But for the world's richest individuals, even that isn't enough. They commission floating palaces known as superyachts, vessels so enormous and extravagant that they rival five-star resorts in both size and comfort. Some stretch well over 300 feet in length and cost hundreds of millions of dollars before they ever touch the water. From the outside, a superyacht is an impressive sight, but it's what's hidden inside that truly sets it apart. Many feature multiple guest suites, private cinemas, infinity pools, full-service spas, gyms, wine cellars, beach clubs, and even helicopter landing pads. The largest can also carry submarines, jet skis, luxury tenders, and an entire fleet of water toys, allowing owners to explore some of the most remote coastlines on Earth in complete comfort. Yet buying the yacht is only the beginning. Operating one can cost tens of millions of dollars every year. A professional crew of captains, engineers, chefs, security staff, and hospitality specialists work around the clock to keep everything running perfectly. Maintenance, fuel, insurance, and docking fees add even more to the annual expense. So why do billionaires continue to invest in these floating mansions? Because a super yacht offers something no luxury hotel ever can: complete freedom. Owners can wake up in the Mediterranean one week, cruise through the Caribbean the next, and enjoy total privacy wherever they anchor. For the ultra-rich, a super yacht isn't just a way to travel. It's a private world that moves wherever they choose, combining luxury, adventure, and exclusivity in a way few other possessions ever could. Number 6. A private jet fleet. For most travelers, flying means crowded terminals, long security lines, delayed flights, and fixed schedules. But for the world's wealthiest individuals, travel operates by an entirely different set of rules. Instead of booking tickets, they own a fleet of private jets, giving them the freedom to fly almost anywhere in the world at a moment's notice. Owning a single private jet is already a remarkable luxury, but many billionaires maintain several aircraft, each designed for a specific purpose. A smaller jet may be used for quick business trips, while a larger long-range aircraft is capable of flying non-stop across continents. Some are even customized with private bedrooms, conference rooms, gourmet kitchens, and luxurious lounges that rival the interiors of five-star hotels. The convenience is extraordinary. Owners can leave whenever they choose, avoid crowded airports by using private terminals, and reach destinations that commercial airlines may never serve. For business leaders managing global companies, this flexibility can save hundreds of hours every year, time that is often far more valuable than the aircraft themselves. Of course, this level of freedom comes at an enormous cost. Beyond the purchase price, which can exceed $100 million for a single aircraft, there are pilots, maintenance crews, hangar fees, insurance, fuel, and constant maintenance. Operating a fleet can cost tens of millions of dollars annually. Yet for the ultra-rich, these jets are far more than luxury transportation. They are tools that allow them to move across the globe with unmatched speed, privacy, and efficiency. In a world where every minute matters, a private jet fleet doesn't just buy comfort, it buys something even more valuable: time. Number 5. A historic castle. For centuries, castles were built to defend kingdoms, protect noble families, and display unimaginable power. Today, their stone walls no longer guard against invading armies, but they still represent something few people will ever possess: a direct connection to history. For the world's wealthiest buyers, owning a historic castle isn't simply purchasing a home, it's acquiring a piece of the past. Scattered across countries like Scotland, France, Italy, and Germany, many castles have stood for hundreds of years, surviving wars, royal dynasties, and dramatic moments that shaped entire nations. Walking through their grand halls, spiral staircases, and towering stone walls is like stepping into another era, where every room holds stories that cannot be recreated. However, buying a castle is only the beginning. Restoring and maintaining these historic landmarks can cost millions of dollars every year. Owners must preserve centuries-old architecture, repair aging stonework, protect priceless interiors, and often follow strict heritage laws that limit what can be changed. Even replacing a single window or repairing a roof may require specialists using traditional techniques that have been passed down for generations. So why would anyone take on such an enormous responsibility? Because unlike modern mansions, every historic castle is truly one of a kind. No architect can recreate centuries of history, craftsmanship, and cultural significance. For billionaires, a castle offers far more than luxury. It provides legacy. It's a chance to become the next guardian of a remarkable landmark, preserving it for future generations while living inside a home that has already witnessed hundreds of years of history. Number 4. A masterpiece of art. At first glance, it can be difficult to understand how a single painting could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. After all, it's just canvas and paint. But in the world of elite art collecting, the true value isn't found in the materials. It's found in the story, the history, and the fact that no one can ever create another original. The world's greatest masterpieces are more than beautiful works of art. They are cultural treasures that have survived centuries, passed through the hands of kings, collectors, museums, and some of the wealthiest people on earth. Every brushstroke represents a moment in history that can never be repeated, making these works completely irreplaceable. When a masterpiece finally appears at auction, the competition can be extraordinary. Billionaires, investment firms, and museums may spend years waiting for a single opportunity to acquire it. In just a few minutes of bidding, the price can climb by tens of millions of dollars, with final sales sometimes exceeding $400 million. At that level, buyers aren't simply purchasing a painting, they're securing a piece of human civilization. Surprisingly, many masterpieces spend most of their lives hidden from public view. Instead of hanging in museums, they are displayed inside private estates, secure vaults, or climate-controlled galleries where temperature, humidity, and lighting are carefully monitored around the clock. Their owners understand that protecting these priceless works is just as important as acquiring them. For the ultra-rich, owning a masterpiece isn't about decorating a wall. It's about preserving history, demonstrating extraordinary taste, and holding something so rare that no amount of money can create another original. In a world where almost everything can be manufactured again, true masterpieces remain one of the few treasures that are forever beyond reproduction. Number 3. A journey to space. For thousands of years, humanity could only look up at the night sky and wonder what existed beyond it. Walking on the moon or seeing Earth from space belonged to astronauts who spent years training for missions that only a handful of people would ever experience. Today, that dream has become something money can actually buy, but only for those who can afford an extraordinary price. A private journey to space is one of the most exclusive adventures on Earth. Depending on the mission, a single seat can cost anywhere from hundreds of thousands to tens of millions of dollars. Yet for the ultra-rich, the price isn't just about reaching space. It's about experiencing something that fewer than 1% of humanity will ever witness. The journey itself lasts only minutes, or for orbital missions, several days. But the memories can last a lifetime. As the engines ignite and the Earth rapidly disappears below, passengers experience the incredible force of launch before suddenly floating in complete weightlessness. Then comes the moment almost every space traveler describes as unforgettable, looking back through the window and seeing our entire planet suspended in the darkness of space. Borders disappear, cities become invisible, and Earth appears as a fragile blue sphere surrounded by endless black. Preparing for the trip is far more demanding than most people realize. Even civilian passengers undergo extensive medical examinations, safety training, and emergency procedures before they are cleared for flight. Every mission is carefully planned because in space there is no room for mistakes. For billionaires, buying a trip to space isn't simply purchasing the world's most expensive vacation. It's buying a perspective that has transformed the way astronauts think about humanity for decades. In the end, the greatest luxury isn't leaving Earth. It's returning with a view of our world that almost no one else has ever had. Number 2, a billion-dollar company. Most people dream of building a successful business, but for the world's wealthiest individuals, there is another option entirely. They simply buy one. Acquiring a billion-dollar company is one of the most powerful things money can buy because it doesn't just purchase buildings, products, or employees. It purchases influence, innovation, and the ability to shape entire industries. When a billionaire acquires a major company, the transaction often involves billions or even tens of billions of dollars. These deals can instantly transfer ownership of globally recognized brands, cutting-edge technology, valuable patents, and millions of loyal customers. In a single signature, a buyer can gain control over businesses that took decades to build. But buying a company is far more complicated than purchasing any luxury item. Months of negotiations, financial audits, legal reviews, and regulatory approvals take place before a deal is completed. Every detail is carefully examined because one mistake could cost billions. Even after the acquisition, the real challenge begins. New owners must earn the trust of employees, reassure investors, and make strategic decisions that determine whether the company grows or declines. For many billionaires, the goal isn't simply to make more money, it's to transform businesses, enter new markets, accelerate innovation, or leave a lasting mark on the world. Some acquisitions have completely changed the future of technology, entertainment, transportation, and global communication. In the end, buying a billion-dollar company isn't about owning another asset. It's about gaining the power to influence how millions of people work, communicate, shop, and live. At that level of wealth, money no longer buys possessions. It buys the opportunity to shape the future itself. Number 1, time. No matter how wealthy someone becomes, There is one thing they can never buy directly: more time. Every person on Earth, whether a student, a billionaire, or the head of a global corporation, receives the same 24 hours each day. And yet, the world's richest people often seem to accomplish far more. Their secret isn't that they have more hours. It's that money allows them to use those hours differently. While money can't stop the clock, it can buy the time, skills, and attention of thousands of other people. Billionaires surround themselves with teams of assistants, pilots, chauffeurs, chefs, accountants, lawyers, security experts, investment managers, and advisors, each handling tasks that would normally consume valuable hours. Instead of worrying about daily responsibilities, they can focus almost entirely on making decisions, building businesses, creating new opportunities, or simply spending more time with their families. This ability creates a powerful advantage. Every hour saved can be invested elsewhere, allowing successful people to multiply their productivity in ways that are impossible to achieve alone. In many cases, the most valuable purchase isn't a mansion, a yacht, or a private jet. It's the freedom from routine tasks that consume everyone else's day. Ironically, this is also the one item on our list that isn't reserved only for billionaires. Anyone can reclaim a little more time by delegating, automating, or simplifying parts of everyday life. The scale may be different, but the principle remains the same. In the end, the greatest luxury isn't owning the rarest car, the largest yacht, or a private island hidden in the ocean. It's waking up each morning with the freedom to decide exactly how you'll spend your day. Because while money can buy almost anything on this list, the closest it ever comes to buying more life is buying more time. That brings us to the end of our countdown of the incredible things money can actually buy. From private islands and floating palaces to priceless masterpieces and even journeys into space, each item on this list reveals a fascinating truth. The world's greatest luxuries aren't always about showing off wealth. They're about gaining experiences, freedom, privacy, and opportunities that very few people will ever have. But now we'd love to hear from you. If money were no object, which one of these would you choose? Would you own a private island, build an unforgettable hypercar collection, travel into space, or would you spend it on something completely different? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next countdown, exploring the world's rarest, most valuable, and most extraordinary things. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure.